Hello, you are welcome to another edition of the series Jamb Literature in English, Likely Questions and Answers. This is a series of videos, and you can find the link to other videos in this particular series in this video's description. There is no time to waste. Let's go to the next question. We ended the previous video in number 10, so we go to number 11. Okay, 11 says, Jamb was simply a difficult man. He was hated by all his neighbors and deserted by his relations. He was the first and only person to beat a policeman in the entire village. He also had 10 cases instituted against him for either stealing or violating the rights of others. He had no regard for denarii or normal conduct. No lover of peace or order could be his friend. It is not surprising that his death elicited jubilation rather than mourning. Now, the question on this little passage says, the passage above reveals that Jamb symbolizes insanity, wickedness, lawlessness, isolation. Jamb symbolizes, is it insanity from the passage, or is it wickedness, lawlessness, or isolation? Before we pick our correct option from this kind of question, since it's a little prose work, a little passage, what we have to do is to look for evidences, pointers from the passage given to us. There are some pointers that I can identify from the passage. First of all, Jamb beats a policeman. That is a direct challenge against the law. What kind of person beats up a policeman? Somebody who is lawful or someone who is lawless. He had 10 cases against him for stealing and violating other people's rights. What kind of a person steals from others or violates their right? A lawful person or a lawless person? He had no regard for order and normal conduct. So Jamb was not mad. We were not told in the passage that he was wicked. He is a symbol of lawlessness. So Jamb symbolizes lawlessness. Option C. The next one, number 12, says, the part of a play when climax approaches is known as. The part of a play when climax approaches is known as A. Catastasis, B. Catharsis, C. Protasis, D. Epitasis. The part of a play when climax approaches. We haven't reached the climax yet, but the part just before the climax is called what? Now let's begin to look at each of these options one after the other. Option A says catastasis. In classical drama, catastasis is the part of the play when the action is heightened for catastrophe. I guess that's where the word catastasis emanated from. So, from this definition, we see that catastasis is very close to climax. But the question says that climax has not yet come. It is the part of the play when climax approaches. So, catastasis is not the correct option. Option B says catharsis. In drama, catharsis is just the purging of emotional tension after an overwhelming experience. So, it is still not catharsis. Option C says protasis. Protasis is the beginning of a play when the setting and the characters are introduced. So protasis is not also the correct option. We are left with only option D, epitasis. Epitasis is a term in classical drama that refers to the central part of a play where the main action unfolds and intensifies, leading towards the climax and the eventual, after that, the resolution. So epitasis is the part of the play when climax approaches. Epitasis leads to the climax, and that is the correct option. Let's go to number 13. This is an unseen piece. It looks like poetry. And so Tom awoke, and we rose in the dark, and got with our bags and our brushes to work. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do their duty, they need not to fear harm. In the lines above, Tom is warm because he A. is working indoors, B. is wearing warm clothes, C. is doing his duty, D. has just woken from sleep. We have to see one or two pointers in the given piece before we can identify our correct option as well in this case. Now, look at the last line, and particularly about the last line. So, if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. This particular line suggests Tom's sense of warmth and happiness that comes from fulfilling his responsibilities. There is a kind of happiness, there is a kind of warmth that comes when you fulfill your duty and responsibilities. And that is what Tom feels in the last line of this poem. This happiness and warmth is not from the physical condition like wearing a cloth or staying in a warm place. The warmth is moral. It is from the emotion that ties to the idea of fulfilling one's dream or responsibility. And so, Tom is warm because he is doing his duty. Option C. Number 14. The term given to a type of incident or device which recurs frequently in literature is the term given to a type of incident or a device which recurs frequently in literature is concept, myth, ritual, motif. Beginning from the option A, concept. A concept is just an abstract idea and it is not peculiar to literature alone. There are concepts in other fields of study. Option B, myth. A myth is a traditional story, often involving supernatural beings, gods, and the likes. Option C, ritual. A ritual is a traditional rite. Option D, motif. A motif in literature is a recurring element, such as image, symbol, phrases, idea, and other devices that helps develop or reinforce the central theme of the work. So a motif is a recurring element, and that is the answer. Because the question says, the term given to a type of incident or device which recurs frequently. And please take note, recurs here means reoccurs, something that happens again and again. So it is only motif that recurs. When something recurs in literature, that thing is called motif. Option D. Number 15. An extended fictional narrative which is realistic is known as an extended fictional narrative which is realistic is known as A, short story, B, diary, C, novella, D, novel. In the categorization of prose work, according to how voluminous they are, short story is the smallest, followed by novella, while novel is the most extended, is the biggest in terms of volume. So the correct option is novel. The novel is the longest of all prose work in terms of volume. It is an extended narration. Number 16. The sides of a stage are called dash. The sides of a stage are called dash. Both sides, the ways, the wings, the pits. In drama or theater terminology, the wings refers to the areas on both sides of the stage that are out of view from the audience. These areas are used for actors. Actors wait there before they enter the stage. Also, stage hands managing props and the scenery can also be conducted in this side because audience don't see that part of the stage on the two sides of the stage. Or sometimes an actor or actress could quickly change into another costume using the wings. So the two sides of the stage are called the wings. Option C. Let's come to number 17. Be him English, be him African, be him Nigerian. The lines above are an example of epigram, anaphora, epitaph, tautology. Let's look at each of these options, their definition, so we can identify the correct option. Option A, epigram. An epigram is a short, witty, and sometimes satirical statement or poem. Very short one. Anaphora. This is a rhetorical device involving the repetition of a word or a group of words at the beginning of successive clauses, sentences, or lines in poetry. Epitaph. This is an inscription on a grave, on a tombstone in memory of someone who has died. Tautology This is a redundant or repetitive use of words that mean the same thing. So which one is correct? The repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of successive lines in poetry. That is anaphora. So look at it. Be him English, be him African, be him Nigerian. Look at the repetition of be him, be him, be him. That is anaphora. The repetition of a word or a group of words at the beginning of successive lines in poetry. 18. When he gave me the bottle and I opened it, I was shocked by the odor that hit my nose. I immediately cocked it again and spat on the floor. The reaction in the passage above is that of A. Anger, B. Protest, C. Rejection, D. Nausea. Now, the correct option is option D, nausea. Now, what are the evidence? Why did I choose nausea? Okay, we have evidences. We have pointers from the poem given to us. In line 2, there is the word odor. I was shocked by the odor that hit my nose. Odor in line 2 is a pointer that shows that it is nausea. The second pointer is in the last line. I immediately cocked it again and spat. Look at that word. The writer did spit on the floor. So those words, odor in line 2, spat in line 3, are evidences to show that the reaction is nausea. Number 19. A formal dignified speech or writing praising a person or a thing for the past or present deeds is a formal speech or writing that is praising someone or something is option A, lampoon, option B, eulogy, option C, premiere, option D, anthology. Let's look at each of these options. Option A, lampoon. This is a sharp satirical piece of writing or speech that ridicules or mocks a person. So we say a writing that praises someone. So lampoon is not the correct option because lampoon does the opposite. Lampoon mocks or ridicules. Lampoon is not the correct option. Option B, eulogy. A eulogy is a formal speech or writing that praises someone, typically delivered to honor someone. The person may be alive or dead. Option C, premiere. A premiere is the first public performance of a play. Anthology. An anthology is a collection of poems written by the same or different writers. So which one is the correct option? Option B, eulogy. Eulogy. A formal, dignified speech or writing praising a person or a thing. Number 20, which is the last question for this video. A character that is always against the interest of the protagonist is a character that is always against the interest of the protagonist is A, opposition, B, heroine, C, villain, D, hero. In this particular question, candidates might be expecting to see antagonist in the option. But these examiners are wise. They won't give you that because it will be too simple for you to answer. So the correct option is villain. A villain is the antagonist. So another word for the antagonist that you're expecting to see, but which is not there. Another word for that villain is antagonist. Villain is the correct option. So that is all. We shall continue in the next video from number 21. So check this video's description. You will see other videos on related topic. Go through those videos and learn from them. If you are a candidate, I wish you success in your Jamb examination and all other examinations you are writing. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and recommend my channel to other people, to your friends. This will encourage me, and of course, if you have the time, drop any nice comment and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for always being here. See you some another time. Bye bye.